Did you attempt to fire the Olsen twins? The fact that they are redheads makes them quite popular. Inform them that you have red hair. It's pretty hit or miss with redheads. You either need to keep them in your closet or they're really beautiful. You simply cannot show these children. I apologize. They weren't considered America's sweethearts by everyone. Some celebrities were never impressed by Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's empire, which they created from childhood stardom to high fashion idols. A startling number of celebrities who publicly disapproved of, even detested. The Olsen twins may be found under the glitzy exterior. Here are some names that couldn't handle personality conflicts or envy. Laughlin Laurie. Fans anticipated a happy reunion of the adored group when Netflix revealed in 2015 that it was bringing Full House back with a spin-off Fuller House. The majority of the original cast members, including Candace Cameron Bure, Jodie Sweetin, and Andrea Barber, enthusiastically joined the band, eager to return to their roles and provide fans with a nostalgic pleasure. The well-known Olsen twins were at the center of a lot of the drama that simmered behind the cheerful smiles and promotional interviews. Rumors circulated from the start that Ashley Olsen and Mary-Kate were reluctant to go back. Insiders gave a totally different account of their absence, which was first dismissed as a schedule conflict. Long before the revival was even announced, the twins had cut ties with the rest of the ensemble, according to Redder Online. According to reports, Mary-Kate and Ashley had no interest in interacting with the Full House family, in contrast to their former co-stars, who maintained a tight relationship and kept in regular contact. No one can really tolerate Mary-Kate or Ashley, one insider said plainly. In an interview with Access Online, actress Lori Loughlin, who portrayed Aunt Becky, expressed similar skepticism. It doesn't matter how much money they get paid, they don't care. I honestly don't know if they want to do it. She acknowledged this when asked if the twins might change their minds. By 2015, Mary-Kate and Ashley had evolved from child performers and sitcom favorites to well-known fashion moguls, with well-manicured public personas that had little to do with reviving a silly comedy from the 1980s. An additional source claimed that the twins flatly rejected the notion, informing filmmakers that the revival would be detrimental to their reputation. Although fans expressed disappointment, insiders indicated that the cast felt the same way. According to a source, nobody really wants them to return, suggesting that the Olsens' relationship with their Full House co-stars has long ago soured. Hilton Paris. As a sophomore at NYU in the fall of 2006, Mary-Kate Olsen was still getting used to juggling her studies with the hectic, fast-paced bustle of New York City. However, when Paris Hilton joined the picture, her attempts at leading a typical college life swiftly fell apart. According to reports, the hotel heiress abruptly intervened and started dating Mary-Kate's boyfriend, Stavros Niaras III, a Greek shipping heir who had been dating Olsen for 5 months. It was a horrible betrayal. Mary-Kate quickly left her life in New York and returned to Los Angeles after she was unable to handle the emotional and public humiliation. Mary-Kate was careful with her wording when she was later questioned by W Magazine about the reason behind the abrupt turnaround. She made it apparent without using names that Hilton had been the driving force, saying, "I think we can all guess." She refrained from accusing Paris outright, but she did acknowledge one unpleasant reality. It had been she who had initially introduced Paris to Stavros. Mary-Kate thought, "We always had good things to say about one another. You can probably tell that we aren't speaking right now," but the drama didn't stop there. By 2007, rumors circulated in the media that Mary-Kate and Stavros had resumed their romance, causing tensions to rise once again. It was Paris who was furious this time. Hilton thought Mary-Kate was showing off her connection with Stavros in public just to irritate her. According to Life and Style, Mary-Kate, meanwhile, is perplexed by the conflict, according to insiders close to her. One insider told Star magazine that Mary-Kate doesn't understand why Paris is constantly making fun of her. One thing became unavoidable regardless of the reality of this complicated love triangle. Mary-Kate Olsen and Paris Hilton were no longer friends and probably never would be. Cooper Liza. As a stylist who doesn't sugarcoat her views for the benefit of Hollywood egos, Liza Cooper has established a reputation for being brutally honest. She may even be one of the few celebrity stylists who doesn't genuinely enjoy celebrities or their purportedly avant-garde fashion. Based on her 2013 Fashionista feature, Cooper, who is known for dressing as famous people without holding back, delivered a string of scathing barbs that nearly killed everyone. Consider Rihanna as an example. Cooper calmly ignored the pop artist's fashion-forward attire, even though most stylists might be swooning over them. I knew Rihanna's hairstylist, Ursula Steven, which was her one advantage. It was the type of comment that challenged the meticulously constructed narrative of Rihanna as a style icon by implying that one reliable expert, rather than her own vision, was responsible for her reputation. Cooper's contempt is even more pronounced when it comes to celebrity fashion brands. She refers to them as bullets in addition to criticizing them. She gives the frankest counsel possible to celebrities who suddenly become interested in designing. Eton class. Then, there's her version of The Row, the label owned by Ashley Olsen and Mary-Kate. Cooper believes that the brothers' business is the only well-known brand worth mentioning. But even that has a harsh disclaimer. Our girls are the only decent celebrity line. Why? Because the Olsens don't design it themselves, she says. I have never seen a better line at ripping off other lines than this one. Saying someone is the best at plagiarism is the fashion equivalent of that. She continues to criticize. She accuses the internet of ruining taste and making everyone appear to be hookers. In one of her more bizarre statements, she also highlights the homeless people's clothing, citing what she calls a new fashion trend in which everything is knotted around the waist. Cooper believes that this careless pragmatism has greater integrity than the slick factory of red carpet appearances. It's obvious that Liza Cooper doesn't play nice. Whether you like her or not, one can only speculate as to whether Mary-Kate and Ashley, who are renowned for their own distance and avant-garde style, unconsciously concurred with her evaluation or dismissed her as just another Hollywood hater. Gilbert got cooked. I live near the Olsen twins' office. I never saw them. Maybe they were standing behind a light pole. Gilbert Gride's 2017 tweet, which was one of his gentler quips, was almost wholesome for a comic known for pushing limits. Gottfried's relationship with the twins, however, dates back almost 10 years to one of the most infamously cheesy comedy events of the 2000s, the 2008 roast of Bob Saget. Even by those low standards, the roast was legendary, and Gottfried, who frequently appeared at such events, went well beyond shock humor and into extremely offensive territory. The premise of his set, according to those present, was that Mary-Kate and Ashley were walking into a bar with their former TV dad, Bob Saget, a grotesque sexual act, and a roofied chocolate milk. Even for a crowd that was used to filth, it was too much. And Bob Saget, who had already been subjected to years of cruel jokes that implied inappropriate relationships with his Full House co-stars, was so horrified at the joke never broadcast. Anyone who talks about my TV kids, that upsets me the most, he told the New York Post in one of his rare outbursts. I take great care of myself. The Olsen twins were more than just jokes to Saget, they were family. Gottfried, on the other hand, showed no remorse at all. When asked about the criticism, he responded with his trademark sneer, stating, "If you're an Olsen girl, you deserve it." The incident solidified Gottfried's reputation as comedies on font terrible, unapologetic, abrasive, and unwilling to admit a line had been crossed. They're going to just have to go home and cry in their billions of dollars. To him, their fame and fortune made them fair game, regardless of how offensive the joke. George R.R. Martin. Few fans would ever expect George R.R. Martin, the brilliant but brooding mind behind Game of Thrones, to have strong feelings for Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. However, it also brought to light Bob Saget's fierce loyalty toward Mary-Kate and Ashley, reminding the world that while comedians could laugh at anything, for him, the Olsen twins were off limits. It turns out that the renownedly stern author has a decades-old grudge against the Olsen, and he's not afraid to admit it. After all, Martin is the man whose imagination gave us White Walkers, direwolves, and endless betrayals on the Iron Throne. Surely, he'd be too preoccupied with medieval intrigue to waste time thinking about sitcom twins from the 1990s. The improbable conflict dates back to the 1980s, when Martin was a writer for the cult favorite series Beauty and the Beast, which starred Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman, and was a gothic romance and fantasy series that made a devoted following and, for a while, held its own in the ratings. Martin recalled that the show was doing very well in its first season, winning its slot handily and gaining momentum. This goddamn thing became a hit, and suddenly we were not winning our time slot anymore, Martin recalled. Then disaster struck from the most unexpected source imaginable. Enter Full House, the sugary family sitcom that debuted in 1987. It became a surprise sensation with its laugh track, wholesome family lessons, and the irresistible novelty of casting twin toddlers. The main cause of that chain reaction, in Martin's opinion, was obvious. Beauty and the Beast faltered as Full House gained popularity, and CBS executives panicked and started to interfere with the show's creative direction, which ultimately caused the series to decline and eventually be cancelled. In a 2012 interview at the Toronto International Film Festival, Martin half joked but fully admitted, "And that's why I've always hated the Olsen twins and still do to this day." For someone who enjoys creating gruesome fictional deaths, it's surprising that he didn't include the Olsens in Game of Thrones to settle the score with a gory on-screen fate. That's Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan had already solidified her status as Hollywood's most untamed child by 2008, but One Night in Lower Manhattan became the subject of tabloid legend. The Mean Girls star reportedly went on what can only be described as an epic bender, downing an incredible amount of Grey Goose before tearing through downtown nightlife. She reportedly passed out in cars and caused chaos at the Beatrix Inn, a celebrity hotspot where New York's elite congregated to see and be seen. According to the story, Lohan's drunken rage collided with an unwitting Ashley Olsen, who had done nothing more than greet DJ Samantha Ronson, Lohan's girlfriend at the time. According to the New York Post, Lohan retaliated with the memorable remark, "Get your 15-year-old Full House ass away from my girlfriend." The insult was a perfect fit for the gossip mill, and tabloids jumped on it, replaying the quote as if it were a line taken from one of her films. However, for Lilo, whose jealousy was as fiery as her temper, that was apparently going too far. However, the story didn't stop there. The incident appeared to spread beyond Ashley, eventually attracting her twin. Mary-Kate Olsen reportedly made her own statement during Fashion Week in 2011, although it was more subdued. According to US Weekly, claiming that she and actress Dakota Fanning deliberately avoided Lohan when they were seated close to her. There was Olsen twins merchandise, such as t-shirts and tank tops, allowing activists to show their contempt on their sleeves. But regrettably, those items are no longer available. Visitors could explore the Full House of Horrors, a grotesque parody of their sitcom past, or dress up as the Trollsons in grizzly fur-inspired either. As if that weren't enough, PETA went one step further in 2008 by promoting Free Trolls Halloween masks, which allowed supporters to literally wear their disdain for the sisters. This type of trolling campaign, which combined dark humor with activist fervor, was intended to publicly humiliate the twins. PETA also turned their fashion brand, The Row, into Death Row, emphasizing their point with macabre flair. One thing is certain, though, when it comes to Newkirk and PETA, the Olsens will always be remembered less as fashion icons and more as the unwelcome mascots of a furry protest gone viral. It's unclear if Mary-Kate and Ashley ever paid attention or just laughed it off while carrying their notorious $17 for backpacks. Spencer Pratt. If there's one thing Spencer Pratt has always been good at, it's being unapologetic Patty. In the late 2000s, the self-described villain of The Hills boasted in Details magazine that he had sold a humiliating picture of Mary-Kate Olsen to the tabloids for a cool $50. Oh, it was one of those questionable career achievements that he regarded as a badge of honor. According to People, evidence that creating drama could be as lucrative as it was entertaining. So it was not surprising that by 2008, when Mary-Kate appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman, she had nothing positive to say about him. When Letterman, who was obviously not a fan, called Pratt a worm and remarked on how unusually oily the reality star looked for someone so young, the segment swiftly devolved into a roasting match. Letterman took advantage of the situation and asked Mary-Kate if she had any information about his complexion, to which she responded in her trademark deadpan manner, "It's a mystery to me. I know I've made it in Hollywood when a famous troll is talking about me on Letterman." He sneered as the audience roared, and then Pratt was publicly ridiculed on national television. Naturally, he didn't take it well, and the following morning he responded in US Weekly via Fox News, attempting to turn the insult into a twisted victory. It was a low blow, even by reality TV villain standards, dripping with a kind of smug nastiness that made Pratt both notorious and despised. But he didn't stop there. In typical Pratt fashion, he went for the jugular with a cruel jab at Mary-Kate herself. I forgive her though, because she's had to endure life as the less cute twin, which must be tough. For everyone else, it was another reminder that if you ever cross Spencer Pratt, you'd better be prepared for him to use every tabloid microphone that comes his way as a weapon. John Stamos. For Mary-Kate, it was just another chapter in her long, bizarre history of being dragged into Hollywood feuds she never asked for. The long-running, almost legendary feud between John Stamos and the Olsen twins is one of the best examples of that. It started with a set full of crying babies in the late 1980s and has since grown into a complex web of snubs, shade, and public insults that continue to make headlines today. When Full House started filming in 1987, Stamos, who was then a rising star, apparently couldn't stand the baby stars. Mary-Kate and Ashley, who were cast to play the cute Michelle Tanner together, reportedly cried so much during takes that Stamos lost it. In a 2015 People interview, he candidly acknowledged, "It was very difficult to get the shot, so I said, get them out." In fact, that is entirely true. The rocky start set the tone for their complicated relationship, and even after producers persuaded him to change his mind, the tension persisted for decades. When Netflix announced Fuller House in 2015, the Olsen claimed they were unaware of the reboot, and Stamos didn't believe it for a second. He publicly questioned Bullett's justification in a since-deleted tweet, and the fallout only got worse when Radar Online revealed in 2018 that Stamos had specifically barred the twins from his wedding to Caitlin McHugh, dismissing them as conceited and unappreciative, and refusing to allow them to get close to his special day. For outsiders, the argument appears to be a strange combination of old grudges, bruised egos, and the strange family dynamics that only a long-running sitcom can create. Eminem. The Olsen twins may be fashion and television icons, but their names have also managed to surface in one of the unlikeliest of arenas, rap music. Meanwhile, the Olsen reportedly retaliated in their own way, ridiculing his choice to marry what they allegedly called a child bride. Yay, drop the cheeky couplet. Prince William ain't do it right, if you ask me, because if I were him, I would have married Kate and Ashley. They have been mentioned in at least 2 major songs to date, each of which has generated a lot of discussion. The first was in Kanye West and Jay-Z's 2011 smash hit, Knock Cacks in Paris. Though innocuous, the lyric, which was delivered with Kanye's signature bravado, instantly immortalized Mary-Kate and Ashley in hip-hop lore, connecting them forever with one of the most played songs of the decade. However, the second reference proved far more controversial. The clever pun fused royal romance with the twins' names. Since he narrated the entire song in the voice of triumph, the insult comic dog. Eminem's 2005 single A, like that quickly became known as one of his most bizarre and annoying songs. In the bizarre novelty, Eminem made fun of a number of female celebrities, turning them into cartoonish caricatures. I didn't even get to see Mary-Kate's shower scene, but Jessica Simpson was alluring. Britney Spears had manly shoulders, and Gwen Stefani was someone he wanted to urinate on. Then came the Olsens. They used to be so wholesome, but now they're getting older, and they're starting to grow bum-bums, he added later with a fake sense of regret. Eminem appeared with hideous puppets of the twins in a strange shower scene that suggested a soapy-sappy encounter. And if the lyrics weren't already juvenile enough, the music video went all out. The disturbing visuals caused outlets to openly question the rapper's intentions. The Olsens themselves never responded to the reference, but the moment became just another odd footnote in the lengthy, frequently surreal intersection of rap bravado and celebrity culture. When pressed, Eminem's camp offered only a dismissive defense: they're puppets. People should also be concerned, because there is supposedly a puppet monster out there that eats nothing but cookies. Their biggest celebrity feud might be with one another. Although Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen present a calm front these days, their relationship hasn't always been so easy. In the 2000s, tabloids were keen to speculate that there were rifts between the well-known twins beneath their immaculately manicured exterior. Their arguments, according to reports at the time, were about things most people could only imagine: lavish homes, millions of dollars in income, and the demands of upholding a billion-dollar brand. A 2008 article in the National Enquirer via Today stated that the sisters frequently fought for control, with money being a major source of conflict. Their opulent New York condo was one of the points of contention, according to sources. There were arguments not only about whether or not to sell the property, but also about the asking price. Mary-Kate finally consented to list it for sale, but this only led to more arguments, illustrating how the weight of fame and wealth tested the two sisters' intense love for one another. Even more dramatic was the portrayal of their relationship by Star magazine, which was also accessed through Today. According to insiders, Ashley found her sister hard to live with because she couldn't cope with Mary-Kate's mood swings and volatile personality, which they described as no walk in the park, even for family. These stories fueled public fascination, but they also highlighted the unique strain of growing up not just as siblings but as business partners and global icons. What really irritated Ashley, according to these accounts, was Mary-Kate's so-called tiny dictator streak, using her fame and influence as a weapon to bend situations to her will. Whether the report was based on fact or was inflated by tabloids, it implied that the Olsen twins' bond, although unbreakable at its core, was not impervious to the demands of fame, fortune, and power. What do you think about those who despise the Olsen twins? Please share your thoughts in the space provided below. We hope this video has been useful. Thank you for viewing this, and I hope to see you in the upcoming videos. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it.